Every year, more than 30,000 table saw injuries are treated in emergency rooms in the United States. Around 4,000 result in amputations, usually fingers or parts of the hand. I'm going to assume you probably already know how important it is to keep your hands and body in the right place while using the table saw, but knowing where and when to put your attention can help you make cuts that are not only safer, but also more accurate. In my career as an oil rig operator, I spent long hours doing repetitive and dangerous tasks. I learned early on that your attention is a limited resource. You can really only give your true focus to one or two things at a time. So I trained myself to prioritize where to look, when to look, and how to turn that into a habit, just like where to put my hands or how to use the controls. Then when things don't go according to plan, you'll automatically perform the habits you've practiced. Now that I dedicate myself to woodworking full-time, I've applied the same mentality to how I work with the table saw. When I make a cut, there are two main things I focus on. But before you even start the saw, make things easier on yourself. Eliminate as many distractions as you can. If your shop floor is an obstacle course of extension cords, scraps, and tools scattered around, you're giving yourself unnecessary things to think about at the worst possible moment. A clear outfeed table helps too. Some obstacles can't be removed. Maybe you don't work next to a giant open hole like I do, but maybe your table saw is tight against a wall, or you're working in a cramped space. Have a plan for how you'll move before you ever power on the saw. I always check my footing in advance, and once I start a cut, I never step backward. The key to accuracy and safety on the table saw is making sure the workpiece rides tightly against the fence. With the blade down, I'll do a quick demonstration. I don't push from the corner close to the fence or from the center of the board. This makes the board wander away from the fence and can increase the chance of kickback. I push closer to the blade while maintaining a safe distance, directing the pressure both forward and against the fence. With that in mind, as I begin the cut, I'm mostly focused on the contact of the board to the fence. I'm watching to make sure there's no gap. As the cut progresses and my hands get closer to the table, I start alternating my focus between the fence and the blade. Using a push stick if the cut requires you to put your hands close to the blade. I'm still checking the fence pressure, but now I'm also watching the blade to keep my hands safe. Once my hand's near the yellow throat plate, my focus narrows in on the blade. This is the danger zone. When the cut is finished, don't relax just yet. That moment, when the cut is done but the blade is still spinning, is when a surprising number of injuries happen. That blade can still hurt you or ruin your workpiece until it comes to a full stop. Watch where I'm looking as I make this cut. When I start, I mostly focus on the board riding along the fence. As my hands get closer to the saw table, I start to alternate my attention between the fence and the blade. The closer I get, the more I focus on the blade, while still giving quick glances to the fence to make sure the cut is going well. I watch the blade until it stops. It takes an extra second, and time is money. But you can't work if you're hurt. This video isn't meant to be a comprehensive guide to table saw safety, but rather an exploration of an aspect that's often overlooked. This concept can and should be modified to fit with your equipment, preferences, and level of comfort with the machine. The idea is to carefully consider the steps of your work process and make your own plan for where your attention will be at each step of the way. Then practice that plan in the same way each time you use your table saw. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing and let me know in the comments, what do you focus on when you're at the table saw? Or, is there another topic you'd like to see covered in a future video?